Thanks for the support as a channel member, Matt Dale. Well, boys and girls, for the third year in a row, it's the playoffs. I mean, can I just keep my eyes shut for the entire episode and you let me know how we got on? Hello and welcome to part 28 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, at the very least, we're playing against Scarborough in the semi-final of the playoffs. As you can see, the two middle teams have been knocked out of the playoffs. Scarborough are the ones who snuck in at the last minute. They didn't. They were well in there. But they did finish 7th. So we finished a full 23 points ahead of Scarborough. Level on points with already promoted South Shields. Unbelievably, for a Kev team, it's goal difference that's let us down. Normally, we're full of goals, so we can blame Luke Plange. 20 goals and best player. He gets a lot of hassle down in the comments, but you know what? Still only 23 years old. That, to me, looks like a good player. Admittedly, probably a support striker, which is what he is now finally doing with Randall playing a little bit further ahead of him, and I do wonder if Randall maybe isn't the man who's going to score the goals to fire us through, but we don't really have any other strikers at the club. We've kind of just gone with those two all year long. So watch both of them get injured in the semi-final, and then it doesn't matter if we get through to the final or not, because we'll have no strikers at all. We are sticking with the 4-4-2. We are very much prepared to switch to a 4-2-4 if need be, but this does give us a more solid starting point and allows Mundle to be a little bit more attacking early on, which Mundle's a good player. Mundle is probably, I mean, if we do get injuries to the strikers, Mundle's the man who'll go up there, even though he's only scored 1 goal all year. He did play a few games up front for us as well earlier on in the season when Plange had a bit of a knock, so he's not exactly the answer, is he? But we've got Griffin in goal, a back four of Garrett, Morrison, Bartley and White, Ford, Mariah Welsh, Mundle and Williams in midfield with Plange and Randall up front. We are going in with a positive mentality, at least in terms of the tactics. I'm not feeling very positive because we've all been here before several times. I can only hope third time lucky, and the reason the game screwed us over on the last day of the season was because it wanted to give us the full redemption story arc and go through the playoffs that have let us down twice before. This is if this was a movie, this is how you'd write it. You keep getting bashed down, but third attempt at the playoffs, we're finally victorious and go on to charge up through the next however many leagues. That's the crazy thing as well. We have done something similar to this before with Nuneaton a few years back. It took 3 years to get out of the Conference North, and the historians will have to confirm down in the comments, but I think we then did like 3 consecutive promotions after that, because once we got, this is a really hard league to get out of. Only 1 automatic promotion spot. The playoffs are fruity, and it's a really difficult league to get promoted from. If we can get out of this one, then I firmly believe we'll be all right for a few years. We'll have a few years of success again. Because remember, before we hit this league, all we'd known was consecutive promotions. But this stupid division has very much slowed down progress a little bit. And hopefully that slowing of progress ends today. But it is Scarborough who are on the attack. First proper shot of the game. Griffin keeps hold of it comfortably, though. And I think 10 minutes of passion before half time will do us all the world of good. Free kick from Scarborough. It ends up with Garrett, who, I mean, he's a big lad playing at fullback. I don't know why he's hovering on the edge of the area there. Who decides on these set piece instructions? Ford plays it forward. Don't really know who he's looking for there. It was just like an aimless lump forward, and as you'd imagine from an aimless lump, wasn't very effective. And Scarborough now coming at us again, and we need to get a tackle in here. And this is the one issue with us not having any kind of defensive cover in central midfield. They can kind of just come through our middle, but Plange has got space to run into here. He's got options to his right. He didn't use them, and he didn't even really have a shot either. It was like he just passed it to the goalkeeper. There's that, I think it's 6 finishing for Plange, isn't it? There was an example of it because he just didn't seem to really know what to do there at all. Right, let's have a passionate halftime team talk. We can still this. We can still win this. Keep working hard. I'm going to give it 15 minutes before we push to the 4-2-4 and stick the wingers a little bit further forward. You can see we're back to Oh, Luke Plange. Luke Plange, what a player. I always knew he was good. A 21st goal of the season from Plange. It's within seconds of starting for the second half. The throw from White, Mundell gives it back to him. White then hits the cross, and Plange does what we know he does best. Just gets on the end of it with his head and scores the opening goal of the game. What I was saying is we are kind of reverting back to the Bourne of old, because there's only 2,000 people inside Abbey Lawn today and 1,600 of them have come from Scarborough. Where on earth are all the Bourne fans? We know we can fit nearly 3,000 home fans in this ground. We did it on our FA Cup run, but clearly the locals are more interested in the FA Cup than they are in actually getting promoted. It's such a weird backwards mentality. But talking of backwards mentalities, when do we drop down to a balanced mentality? Mike Ford has been... I don't care that he's been making a lot of mistakes. He'll do something special in a minute. And here is Mundell doing that surging run from central midfield that we were looking for from him. Plange now with the chance to cross. Finds Mundell. And Mundell's got his... It's a third goal of the season, apparently. We thought he'd only scored one. I guess he must have one in the cup as well. But that's why we did this tactic. To get Mundell more involved going forward. And there he is. More involved going forward. It's now a goal and an assist from Luke Plange, who gets picked on all the time. What a name for their goalkeeper, by the way, Bickerstaff. That is an incredible surname, J. Bickerstaff. I want to sign him just because I love his name. Right, I think any plans we had to go to a 4-2-4 have to be abandoned at this point. We'll maybe give it 10 minutes and switch back to a balanced mentality. I would love to grab a third goal. A third goal would make me very happy. Of course, if Scarborough can come and grab a goal of their own, then I'll be less happy. That's generally how football works. Mariah Welsh is there to cover, though. Lovely tackle from him. And Bartley plays it forward, looking for Williams. Williams, space to run into. And he plays it forward to Randall. What a pass from Williams. What a goal from Richard Randall. Only a 6th goal of the season for him. But to be fair to him, he's barely played. And when he does play, he scores. And we look like a good team again all of a sudden. This 4-4-2, I tell you what, this might be the future. This formation has got legs. Why hasn't anyone ever thought of this before? Lovely pass from Williams. Randall had just got himself in between the two centre-backs, and I think they both thought the other one was dealing with him. We are going to drop back to a balanced mentality now, and we're going to drop a little bit of praise as well. I'm looking down at my bench, and I want to get de Havilland on in this midfield just to offer a little bit more in the way of defensive cover in there, so de Havilland can come on and play as... let's put him as a central midfielder on defend, and we're going to drop Mundell back to a deep lying playmaker alongside him as well, and just drop those guys back a little bit. We don't want to go super defensive, but I think we'll also bring on Lund on that side, and he can be an inverted winger because we know he's got goals in him, and maybe just drop Ford back to support as well. I don't want to go too defensive, but at the same time, we're 3-0 up. We should have this game won, so I don't want to let them back into it. So I don't want to commit too many men forward. They have now gone more attacking, so I think we'll probably drop back cautious in a moment. But first, we'll let this highlight play out. Morrison plays the ball forward utterly aimlessly once again. It seems to be a little bit of a theme from our more defensive players today. Just lump the ball forward and hope one of our strikers gets on the end of it. I guess that's a disadvantage of having two strikers. The defenders think they can just lump it forward now because there's bound to be one of them near where the ball lands. What a goal. Yikes. Scarborough are not out of this yet. It's 3-1 with 15 minutes to go. If we get knocked out in this semi-final this year, I might have to retire from Football Manager because that would just be the cruelest of cruel ways. We've had some late heartache in matches towards the end of this season, but that would be the cruelest of all. Garrett is not having the best of games on that left-hand side. We'll bring Randall on for him. We've now got both Randall brothers on. We've dropped back to a cautious mentality. What can I say to G them on? Is concentrate an appropriate thing to say at this juncture? I think it is, but I think it'll also stress them out because they always get stressed out when I tell them to concentrate. Plange now. A fourth goal here would be spectacular. Ball forward, finds Randall. Randall all the way back to White. White plays it forward, looking for Plange again. Plange and Randall play a cheeky little 1-2. Plange from the edge of the area. 6 finishing, you say? 6 finishing, my eye. What a goal from Luke Plange. His second of the game, his 22nd of the season. He has had close to a perfect game of football, playing as this second striker supporting Randall today. It's like watching Dennis Bergkamp. Bourne Town 4, Scarborough Athletic 1 with 5 minutes to go. And I think it is safe to say we have made it through to the playoff final. And we've not only done that, we've done it in good form. If you have a look at our recent matches, we're scoring goals, we're winning games. We've got to feel confident. But of course we don't. We're never going to feel confident. I think Warrington are the team that finished 6th. So that is that's potentially a big deal as well. Darlington getting themselves knocked out. And now we play Warrington. Is it at home? Is it at the Abbey Lawn? Surely we fill the Abbey Lawn next weekend for the playoff final. We are this close now to the promised land. Here we go then, folks. Obviously no changes because we played very well in that last game. Cross everything. It is the playoff final. If we haven't got 2,000 Bourne fans inside Abbey Lawn today, I absolutely give up with these bunch of numbskulls, the silly old locals. Right, team talk wise, this is a big deal because do I get any advice from my... Tell the team they're expected to pick up where they left off. I'm working with Terry very much here. I usually stress them out in big games. But let's pick up where we left off. Oh, Terry, you're a wonderful man. We had a good team meeting midweek because I listened to Terry. He told me to tell him we weren't expected to win. It's the opposite of what I'd normally do. We were pre-season favourites for promotion. Of course we should win. Terry told me not to tell this like that because they're a bunch of bottle jobs. And they responded well. We've now done a similar thing. They seem to have responded quite well, although 20 minutes in nearly. And we've not had a shot yet, but here is Luke Plange, support striker extraordinaire. Can he release Ford? In fact, he gives it to Randall for a cheeky little 1-2. Plange is there again. Luke Plange! What a goal! Oh, I've shown so much faith in him when you lot all told me I shouldn't. And goodness me, is he repaying that faith with bells on in the playoffs? Where are all the fans down the side of the pitch? This is ridiculous. What a goal from Plange. 23 for the season now. He's got to be the first proper club legend, doesn't he? This is now 3 seasons he'll have finished as our top scorer. The one way back before he's moved to Reading, back down in the deepest, darkest lower leagues. And now 2 at this level, as well as just stepping up and putting in performances like this when it really matters in the playoffs. He is proving that he's a big game player. He's out there. Man of the match in the semi-final. Best player on the pitch so far in the final. We're a half away from the National League, and it's largely thanks to Luke Plange. Don't get complacent. See, I've disagreed with Terry there. Maybe I should have gone with what Terry said, but I did. There's only 1,000 people in the ground, and 600 of them have come all the way from Warrington. Warrington's a long way away from Bourne. For only 400 locals. Look at the state of that. Let them in for free, for goodness sake, just so they can make some noise. So Mick Powell needs to work on his business acumen, I think. But here is Ford. He's fouled there. That's surely a red card. This guy's already on a yellow. Referee's coming over. Is this an early red card? It's a second yellow. It is a red card. And now Ford is going to have all sorts of space to play with down this left-hand side, hopefully, although they've adjusted, so maybe not. But still, we have a corner. It's Mariah Welsh. Corner comes over. It's headed clear, but only as far as Randall. And Randall plays it back to Mariah Welsh, who crosses, looking for Ford. Plange is there again, and it's just wide from Plange. I mean, they're the ones he can't do. The little tap-ins from inside the area he can't do. He can score with his head all day long. He scores screamers all day long. What he can't do is actually score goals that strikers are supposed to be able to score. Right, 20 minutes left. What do? I think we take off Mariah Welsh. We've got both Zach Brown and Sean Goodman on the bench. Both solid players for us over the years. Brown on a 6.82 for the season. Goodman is on a 6.89 for the season. Goodman comes on from Mariah Welsh. Easy decision to make. Just look at their ratings. Look at me trying to play the game properly. This is how desperate I am to get promoted. I'm actually trying to play the game the way you're supposed to play it. Neil White isn't having the best of games. We have got Randall who can come on at right back. We'll make that change as well. And with 20 minutes to go, I don't know what team talk to do. I think we drop back to a balanced mentality. It seems a little bit negative in the circumstances. We're only 1-0 up, but we don't want to commit loads and loads of players forward. when we are ahead in the game with 10 minutes to go. We're going to make the final change, which is Lund coming on again on this right wing. He's done it quite a lot in this little bit of a run-in, re-emerging as a Bourne player after a year and a half in the wilderness. He's still classed as a young winger, though, and 5 minutes left, and we've still got the ball. Garrett finds Goodman. Goodman, just keep hold of it now, lads. I should probably go to a cautious mentality, waste a bit of time. I'll do all that after this highlight. Lund brings the ball down very comfortably, but then gives it away. And now Warrington have got a counter-attack through, I think Kaleba played for my Nuneaton team years ago. So we don't want him to do well. That would be very sad. Randall wins the ball back though, and now Randall charging forward, plays it into Mundle. We've got Plange ahead of them, but Mundle's going to try and do it on his own. He probably should have passed to Luke Plange because that was pretty poor. 5 minutes left. Right, cautious. Let's go cautious now. What can we say? Tighten up. Tighten up. It's motivated. Who cares what it did? We have made it into the National League. Oh my word, it's taken nearly 30 episodes since we rebooted the series when we arrived in the National League North. That is a dominant victory. But finally, thanks to the hero that is Luke Plange, we are in the National League. This is going to be, an experience. Wowzers. Let's see, do we get a transfer budget straight away? We do. I'd imagine there isn't going to be one. But then we had all that cup run money. Most of it has gone into running the club, I think. But it would be interesting to see if we're going to get some spensies. Initial budgets are nearly £100,000 of transfer budget and a 50% increase on the wage budget. Oh my word. Finally, we have made it into the National League. This is going to be a very interesting transfer window coming up tomorrow because I have no idea what kind of player we're going to be able to attract to the club. I expect we'll have had a reputation boost after the cup run. We've now got so we'll have the highest reputation we've ever had, plus the most money we've ever had. There could be some gems coming in this summer if we can find them. Are we scouting properly? Have we run out of scouting budget? Scouting budget. That's what we call it. Scouting. No. Oh, okay. We have nearly run out of it. But we probably have plenty of players already scouched, which, again, I think that's how we say it from now on. Let's just offer loads of trials to this lot. I don't know if they're going to be any good, but we'll just get them all in on trial because the summer starts now. Come on, Guillem. We need to have a big summer. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Why not celebrate promotion by buying a Bourne shirt? You've got a week left. The link is down in the description. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.